All right, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful Wednesday night here. So, we got a lot to talk about. Who says our weather is quiet out here for long? It's usually not. So, we have the winds coming in for tomorrow, and the winds are going to pick up. Let me see what the winds are doing right now. I don't think the winds have really started to pick up yet, but let me pull up my wind gust map here. So, yeah, the winds haven't started to go yet. We are seeing a few isolated pockets of strong winds now beginning to develop, like Woodward right now. You just went from 30 to 25. Watauga just went to 30 miles per hour. But by tomorrow morning, look at these winds, 10 a.m., 47 miles per hour. Those are some strong winds that are coming in. So it's been a little while since we have had winds this strong. I mean, typically people think about the winds always in Oklahoma and whatnot, but really our strong winds that we get here really don't occur until the winter and into the early spring. By late spring, June, July, August, September, October, it's usually not all that windy out there. So the winds are going to pick up here, and the winds are going to be strong. I mean, look at that, 47 miles per hour for Oklahoma City tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., 46 in Stillwater, 44 Seminole, 40 out towards Woodward. So definitely the winds, they are going to be strong as we go into the next couple of days. The rain chances really don't look all that particularly high as we go into Friday. I'm still hanging on to like an isolated 20% chance in there. Let me show you the latest right now as we go into Friday here. So let's see what we got. Friday, a little bit of moisture there going into the afternoon and into the evening in eastern Oklahoma. And that's really about it. Otherwise, really our attention is kind of starting to focus on next week. So if you're watching our Facebook Live here yesterday, we were highlighting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as a chance for us to see a storm system in here. So the newest Euro model is still highlighting more moisture on the way, but I want you to kind of look at this because this system is going to come in here pretty slowly. And so it will be one of those weeks where, let's say you're living in Oklahoma City, you're looking out to the west, and you're like, oh, there's rain out there. And then you're going to look like a couple hours later and be like, the rain hasn't moved. You could look a day or two later, and the rain still may not have moved. We are really going to see kind of the rain just kind of sit out to the west as we go into early next week. And it's going to take a couple days for the system to get pushed to the east here. So here we are Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Rain out across western Oklahoma into Texas. We go into Wednesday afternoon. Rain is still out across the Panhandle. Some of it makes it into western Oklahoma. Then we go into Thursday afternoon. The rain is still out across the west here, western Oklahoma, not really making it into central Oklahoma. It's not until we go into Thursday night and then the Friday when the system finally begins to push to the east and moves into eastern Oklahoma there. So there are just some things we'll have to watch as we go into next week as far as like how long it's going to take for that system to get kicked out of here. As far as the amount of rain that we have in this, so still showing like 1 to 3 inches of rain out across the Panhandle. Western Oklahoma about half an inch to 1 inch of rain, and then central Oklahoma about half an inch to 1 inch of rain, and then lower amounts as we go up into northeastern Oklahoma. That's the Euro model. The GFS model looks a little bit different as we go into next week. It kind of opens up, and it does bring rain in here, but not as much into Oklahoma, just a few tenths of an inch, whereas it's pretty consistent from Amarillo down to Lubbock, looking at about 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain down here. So bottom line is that there are some things that we'll have to kind of fine-tune as we go into the next couple of days, but just know that there will be a storm system coming in. Jack, you're asking about tornado threat down in Houston. Probably about a 2 for now, for Saturday. So anyways, kind of a couple things to keep in mind about going into next week, and there will be at least some snow in there as well, mainly way out to the west. But it's a slow mover. It is a slow moving storm system. How much snow are we looking at? Just some of the model talk as we go into next week here. Let's look. I haven't had a chance to look at the GFS one here. The GFS dumps 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, or about 1/2 inch to about an inch of snow, and then some areas about 1 to 2 inches of snow, mainly out across the Panhandle. Not really much in the main body of the state here, but you do get some west of Guyman. The Euro, I believe, is a much more aggressive with snow as we go into next week. Let me just see here. Yeah, the Euro is way more aggressive, and I would do anything to see this type of snow in Colorado, some of the ski resorts here. But this is saying, like, out towards Boise City, 1 foot to 2 feet of snow, and then about a dusting to half an inch of snow out across northwestern Oklahoma going into next week. It's just something to keep in mind. This forecast is going to jump around a lot in the days ahead. Let's check out the Canadian. See if the Canadian looks very Canadian. The Canadian, I always chuckle, but whenever I think of cold weather, snow, whatever, I feel like the Canadian is going to be the one that like just kind of goes crazy with it. Canadian doesn't really show that much snow at all into Oklahoma. So long range, I feel like we're probably going to begin to see winter kind of spill in here, especially to the east. And we'll be getting kind of clipped with some of these systems here. So I want to show you here, no, wrong one, the newest seasonal outlook as we go into, so January statistically the coldest month of the year. So to see us with temperatures near, if not slightly below average for the month of January would definitely indicate that we'll get some cold in here and some pretty nice cold fronts in here as well. So that's the newest temperature outlook for January, below average temps. February, near normal, warmer than normal for the Rockies, colder than normal out across Northeast. What I've been seeing with a lot of long-range models has been like a trend towards colder than normal going into the eastern tier of the United States, and we may get clipped by some of those strong cold fronts as far west as here in Oklahoma. So I think winter's probably going to get its act together. Looking ahead into the temperature outlook for Christmas week, near normal for Oklahoma, slightly warmer than normal for northern Oklahoma, colder than normal, with storm track likely favoring Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico into Texas, and along the Gulf Coast there. And precip chances look to be drier than normal. May not exactly be the forecast you want to see. If you're hoping for a white Christmas, plenty of time to watch it. We are still 19 days out. 19 days out from that. So, temperatures next week. Again, we have some cold fronts in here, and I kind of have to change my way of thinking as far as 68 degrees to 45 degrees. That's over a 20-degree drop in temps. That would seem like a pretty big cold front, but then again, the average high temperature for Saturday is like 51, 52 degrees. So we're going from being well above average with our temps to just being slightly below average with our temps. So there are no strong cold fronts in the forecast for the next 10 days, but we do have more seasonal weather that will be moving in. And already again, a 40% chance of rain. That's primarily going to be out across western Oklahoma as we go into next week. So, Joel, buenas noches, or buenas down there, and where'd you just went away? Monterrey, Mexico. Have I bought all my presents yet? No, I have not. Is the solar eclipse part of the weather subject? Solar eclipse, hopefully looking into next April is that there are no clouds. I do get a little concerned because April is typically a pretty cloudy month for Oklahoma. So fingers crossed that we are not looking at any clouds going into the solar eclipse there. Okay, KOCO5 news at 10 o'clock begins in a few minutes, so I got to jump over there. Got a first weather talking about winds. Got a lot to discuss. So head on over to Channel 5, and we will see you there. Have a good one.